What if the war everyone is watching didn't stay where it started? What if it spread, quietly at first, until the entire world was involved? Right now, conflicts happen far away from most of us. Different countries, different borders, different lives. But the modern world is not divided the way it used to be. Energy, trade, technology, all connected. So today, we ask a simple but uncomfortable question. What if a war in the Middle East expanded into a global conflict? This is not a prediction. This is not a warning. It is a thought experiment based on how today's world actually works. In the past, wars could remain local. A conflict might affect one country, maybe its neighbors. But today, the Middle East sits at the center of global systems. Energy supply, shipping routes, international alliances, financial markets. When tension rises in one area, pressure spreads outward, not with explosions, but with consequences. Oil prices move, markets react, governments respond. Even people thousands of miles away feel it, at gas stations, grocery stores, and power bills. If a regional war begins to grow, the first change is not military, it is diplomatic. Countries choose sides, statements are released, emergency meetings begin. Allies offer support, logistics, intelligence, resources. Not soldiers yet, just assistance. But assistance creates commitment, and commitment makes stepping back harder. Long before global war becomes visible, it becomes expensive. Energy supply becomes uncertain. Shipping routes are rerouted or delayed. Insurance costs rise. Trade slows. Factories pause. Prices climb. This is where ordinary life begins to change. Not suddenly, gradually. People notice higher fuel prices, empty shelves, delays in goods, rising costs of living. No panic, just pressure. As tensions grow, another war begins quietly, the information war. News cycles speed up, social media fills with conflicting narratives. Truth becomes harder to separate from opinion. People argue, communities divide. Trust erodes, not just between countries, but between citizens and institutions. This confusion is dangerous because when people don't understand what's happening, fear fills the gaps. If escalation continues, involvement deepens. Military assets are repositioned, defensive systems are activated, exercises become operations. Still, leaders avoid calling it war because words matter. Once a global war is named, there is no easy exit. At this stage, the world lives in tension, not chaos. Airports still run, cities still function, but everyone feels the weight of uncertainty. Modern civilization depends on fragile systems, power grids, satellites, financial networks, supply chains. These systems are not designed for long-term global conflict. Even small disruptions compound over time. A delay becomes a shortage becomes instability. Governments focus inward, borders tighten, resources are protected. The world becomes less open. Most people in the world would never see the battlefield, but they would feel the war. Work becomes uncertain, travel becomes restricted, costs continue to rise. People adapt, they save more, spend less, trust institutions less. Life doesn't collapse, it contracts, and that slow contraction changes societies. Global conflicts rarely expand because someone wants them to. They expand because of miscalculation, a misread signal, a delayed response, a misunderstanding. In tense world, small mistakes carry large consequences. This is the most dangerous phase. Not noise, silence. When leaders wait and guess. History shows something important. Most wars do not end with victory. They end with exhaustion, economic strain, public pressure, global instability. At some point, the cost becomes too high. Diplomacy returns, not because trust is restored, but because survival demands it. So what if the Middle East war expanded into a global conflict? The answer is not explosions everywhere. It is something quieter, a world under strain, a world less stable, a world where everyday life becomes harder, slower, and uncertain. The real question is not whether the world could survive it. The question is, how much would we lose before it stopped? This video is a hypothetical thought experiment created for educational and informational purposes only. It does not predict future events, support any political position, or claim that such a scenario will occur. All scenarios discussed are based on general global systems and historical patterns, not on specific outcomes.